Good morning, friends. In this lecture, we will discuss about the Gauss theorem in electrostatics. In previous lecture, we have discussed the Coulomb's law. We have understood the Coulomb's law, and we have seen the definition of the electric field, and we have understood the concept of the electric flux. How the electric flux is originated in case of isolated positive charge and isolated negative charge. Also, we have discussed the electric field lines for the pair of similar charges, positive charges. And also we have seen how the electric flux lines they originate in case of the two opposite charges separated by finite distance. And we have understood the definition of the electric flux. We will revise the definition of the electric flux. See the revision of the electric flux. So we know that when you consider any isolated charge, suppose it is a positive charge, then the electric flux lines they will be originated in all directions. They will start from the charge and they will terminate into the infinity. So there are large number of the electric field lines. We called it as electric flux. So if you consider these are the electric field lines, these are the electric field lines, and if you consider any surface which is inclined to this electric field lines, and suppose it is inclined at an angle theta. So this S is a vector. Actually, it is a surface vector which is perpendicular to this surface. And these are the direction of the electric field lines, and this angle is theta. Then we have seen that the electric flux passing through this area element S is given as E into S into cos theta. Now remember that this S cos theta is the component of S along the electric field direction. So along this direction, if you take the component of S, then it will be S cos theta. It is the effective component, because actually we have seen that electric flux is nothing but it is a dot product of the electric field and a surface. So if actually if the surface is exactly perpendicular to the electric field lines, the angle will be the zero. Angle between E and S will be zero, hence the flux will be E into S. But since the surface is inclined at an angle theta, an electric flux passing through the surface A is given as E into S into cos theta. This is very important because you have to use this while studying this Gauss theorem. Now let us move to the statement of the Gauss theorem. Actually, we have discussed this Gauss theorem in 12th standard, but we will prove again here as a part of our syllabus. So the Gauss theorem states that the net outward normal electric flux through any closed surface, the surface is closed, of any shape is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times the total charge contained within that surface. Means if you consider any closed surface like this, and suppose this surface encloses a charge Q, then the total electric flux is given as total electric flux phi is given as the charge enclosed divided by the permittivity of the medium. Here we have taken the free space, hence the permittivity we have to take it as the epsilon 0. This is the Gauss theorem or statement of the Gauss theorem. So if you consider any closed surface, and if that closed surface contains a charge, then the net outward normal electric flux through that closed surface is equal to charge divided by permittivity of the medium. This is the simple statement of the Gauss theorem, and we will prove this Gauss theorem on the basis of the electric flux concept of the electric flux that we have discussed. So in order to prove this Gauss theorem, let us consider a charge q plus q coulomb. It is placed at this point O within this closed surface. This is a closed surface. The closed surface, it may be of any shape, remember, it may be of any shape. And let E be the electric field at point P. You have seen the definition of the electric field. So if you consider any charge at this point P, then the electric field is nothing but the force acting per unit charge. That definition we have discussed. So let this distance OP is equal to R. Suppose the distance OP is equal to R, and the permittivity of the free space, let it be the 0. Now, in order to prove this Gauss theorem, let us assume that a small area element ds. This is a small area of this entire surface, and it surrounds the point P. Then, by definition, this will be the direction of the electric field, and this is the perpendicular to the surface. That small surface area we have assumed as ds. It is a vector. It is represented by a vector perpendicular to the surface. Then, if you calculate the electric flux as per definition through the small surface, then obviously that flux through the small surface will be given as d phi is equal to E dot ds as per the definition. But we know that the electric field at this point is given as per definition we have discussed, due to this charge q, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q divided by r square, and into this vector r. This r cap is the unit vector in the direction of the electric field. Or you can write this as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q into vector r divided by rq. Because as per the definition of the unit vector, you can write this as vector r divided by this unit vector r. So the flux through the small area element ds is given as, put the value of E here, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q into this r divided by r cube, and with this dot ds, vector ds. So this is nothing but q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r. This quantity, vector r dot ds divided by r cube, or you can call it as the ds cos theta, because magnitude of this unit vector is 1. Therefore, you can write this as ds cos theta divided by this r square. So you can write this as, r dot ds as r into ds cos theta divided by r cube. So r will get cancelled. So ds cos theta divided by r square. So this quantity ds cos theta divided by r square is the solid angle subtended by the surface ds at point O. This is the solid angle subtended by the surface ds at point O. And here theta is the angle between ds and E, as we have discussed in earlier slide. So actually, what is the solid angle? Solid angle, that concept can be understood by taking the slice of the watermelon. So if you take the slice of the watermelon, this is the angle between the angle between these two edges, but it is a three-dimensional angle. So it is actually called as the solid angle. So this angle is, this is a plane angle actually, but it is a three-dimensional. So if you take the slice of this watermelon, then you will get the picture somewhat like this, and this angle is a solid. So this is the small surface area, remember, and this small surface area has subtended this angle. So this angle, small solid angle subtended by this surface ds, is given by this ds cos theta divided by dr square. You can find the proof of this anywhere in any physics book or on internet. You can get the proof of this solid angle subtended at the point. So you have to calculate the net flux passing through this surface. In all direction, you have to calculate the outward flux. So total outward flux can be calculated by integrating this equation, over the closed surface. So to net electric flux to the whole closed surface will be given as integration over closed surface E dot ds. So putting the value of this E, Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 ds as Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 will be constant, and integration over this solid angle d omega. But if you calculate the solid angle subtended at the point O by the whole surface, and that solid angle comes to equal to 4 pi. So you can put the integration of d omega is equal to 4 pi, so that you will get the net flux passing through this closed surface is given as Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into 4 pi. So 4 pi will get cancelled, and it is nothing but the Q divided by epsilon 0. This is the proof of this Gauss theorem, that the total flux passing through the closed surface is equal to the charge divided by permittivity of the free space. So we have considered only one charge. If you consider multiple charges, large number of charges, means if there are several charges as Q1, Q2, Q3, or if there are suppose negative charges also, minus Q1 dash, minus Q2 dash, and Q3 dash, which are enclosed within the closed surface, then the net electric flux will be given as, it is a vector sum, as Q1 divided by epsilon 0 plus Q2 divided by epsilon 0 plus Q3 divided by epsilon 0 and so on, minus Q1 dash divided by epsilon 0 minus Q2 dash divided by epsilon 0 and so on. How many charges they are enclosed, depending upon, you can write this number of terms. So taking 1 upon epsilon 0 as common, so this is nothing but the algebraic sum of the total charge enclosed within the closed surface. So you can write it as summation over Q. So this summation over Q is the algebraic sum of the charges enclosed within the surface. So that means the total electric flux through any closed surface is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 times the total charge enclosed within the surface. This is called as the Gauss law. So this is very important theorem, and we have to calculate, we have to study the many more things which are based on the Gauss theorem in the electrostatics. So this is very important law. So I think you might have understood this. So uh, uh, thank you for watching this lecture.